Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. This is Tanush, and today we'll be discussing about the transit of Saturn from the sign of Capricorn into the sign of Aquarius, or from the sign of Makar Rashi into the sign of Kumbh Rashi, right? So Saturn, the old wise man, who is here to teach us the life lessons, who is the hard taskmaster, also who gives us our past life karma and teaches us how to live in this material world, would be transiting from the sign of Capricorn into the sign of Aquarius, right? So guys, my predictions are best seen from Ascendant, because like I said in my previous video, and I've made a video on this as well. If we look at the transit from the Ascendant, it tells us how that particular transit is going to impact on our physical events in our life. Physical events like health, monetary gains, our job, relationship, etc. So how that particular transit is going to impact us from a physical point of view is seen by Ascendant. And if we look at the transit from the moon sign, it tells us more about how that particular transit is going to impact us emotionally, how our mental state would be, during the transit, right? So it's up to you. You can see the transit via Ascendant or moon sign, right? Based on what you want to see, right? So guys, this transit of Saturn is going to impact everyone, right? But if we speak about this, these three moon signs, especially Sagittarius moon sign will get a lot of relief, because they will be graduating through the Sadesati. They would be completing the Sadesati. So at least for these 3 months, Saturn would be giving a lot of relief to them, right? And if we speak about Capricorn moon sign, they will also get a lot of relief, because Saturn was hovering over their moon, so they were in the peak phase of Sadhasati, and I'm sure they have gone through a lot. They surely have gone through a lot, and this transit of Saturn is going to give them a lot of relief, right? At least for the 3 months. And Pisces has a Pisces moon sign, so get ready to embark on the journey of Sadhasati. So be prepared for that. And when Saturn, till 12th of July, Saturn would be in the sign of Aquarius, and when it starts retrograding and moving back, as I said, it has its own special significance for at least these signs who are actually going through Sadhasati. So I'll make a separate video for that, right? So let us start. So guys, I apologize for making this video in bits and pieces, because life has become very busy from past 2 weeks, so I was trying to make this video, but it's just not happening. So due to that reason, actually I'm trying to make this in bits and pieces, but that's fine, right? It's Saturn, so I'll have to work hard to even make a video. So now to discuss about moving of the Saturn from the sign of Capricorn to Aquarius, or Makar Rashi to Kumbh Rashi. So these two signs are owned by Saturn himself, and but Saturn signifies quite different things in each of these signs. Like if we consider Saturn in the sign of Capricorn, then as we discussed, Saturn represents a very hard taskmaster, a very strict father or teacher, right? It represents awe and reverence, fear and anxiety. So it represents a lot of hard work. It represents boundaries, breaking of the boundaries, a lot of discipline, a lot of organization, right? So it represents all these things. And when we actually do that, then when Saturn moves to the sign of Aquarius, that is when Saturn actually rewards us profusely. So if you have worked very hard for the last 2.5 years, then the next 2.5 years would be the time where you'll reap the benefits of all your hard work, right? Now Saturn in Aquarius is quite relaxed. It represents large groups, communities, societies, doing welfare for the society. It also represents a lot of technical things, lot of technical inventions. So we'll see during this period, many new inventions, technical inventions coming in, a lot of research. So all these things are represented by Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. Now in the natural Kalapurush chakra, Saturn holds two very important houses. We all know the 10th house and the 11th house. And 10th house is the sign of Capricorn, and the 11th house is the sign of Aquarius, right? So the 10th sign represents, the hard work which we put in, the discipline which we follow, and all the hard work we have put in. And 11th house represents the gains we get from the profession, or in this case we can say the gains which we get from all the hard work which we have put in, right? Now before starting, I would like to speak about the three aspects of Saturn in quite brief, so that we'll actually know what the three aspects of Saturn are, right? So now Saturn has been given three aspects. Like all the planets generally have only one aspect, except for Jupiter, Mars, Rahu and Ketu, but Saturn has been given two more aspects apart from the seventh aspect which every other planet has, right? So Saturn aspects the third house from the house where it sits. It aspects the seventh house, and it aspects the 10th house. And each of this aspect has a certain significance which we need to understand if we want to reap maximum benefit out of this transit of Saturn. So the third house, as we discussed earlier, so I made a video on the third aspect of Saturn. I'll paste the link in the description section. You can just view that, right? So the third house, the third aspect of Saturn, or the third house from where Saturn is sitting and aspecting, represents that to achieve the things related to that particular house, we will need to put a lot of efforts, right? Again, the property of Saturn, like putting lot of effort, following discipline, organization, and discipline. So these all things should be done if we want to achieve the things of the third house where Saturn aspects, right? And suppose if we put generally 100% efforts in achieving something, so where Saturn aspects the third house, right, to achieve that, the aspects of that particular house will have to put probably 170 or 200% efforts, and only then we'll be able to achieve things related to that house. But one thing is, Saturn doesn't give it easily, but when Saturn gives us, we'll be much more matured, we'll be able to handle that. And when Saturn gives that, we'll be able to actually sustain that for a very long period of time. So that is one good thing with Saturn. Now the seventh aspect of Saturn shows that whichever house Saturn is aspecting, with its seventh aspect, for things related to that house, we need to engage with people there, right? So we need to communicate with them, we need to engage with them, we have to put a lot of effort in engaging with them, trying to understand what they mean, working together. So it's going to be a challenge. And the 10th aspect of Saturn, or the house where Saturn aspects with its 10th aspect, so to achieve things related to that house, we have to put in a lot of efforts. So 10th house also represents our reputation, also represents authorities with whom we'll be working, right? So in general, the 10th aspect of Saturn, or the house where Saturn sees with its 10th aspect, so what it means is that to build a reputation related to things of that house, we need to put in a lot of effort and discipline. And also we have to deal with people in authority related to that particular house. We need to understand their needs, we need to engage with them, and that's not going to be easy, right? Because those people in authority related to that house are going to expect a lot of discipline from us, and we need to actually live by that standards, and then only we'll be able to achieve things, right? So you can apply this principle for all the three aspects Saturn is going to aspect when it transits into the sign of Aquarius, right? So these principles are common. Just keep this in mind, and you can apply these principles even in your birth chart. So you can just see the pattern in your birth chart. You can check the third aspect of Saturn, how things are. Things would be surely be tough. The seventh and the 10th aspect, and it also applies to the house where Saturn transits, right? Now, we already discussed that Sagittarius moon sign would be out of Sadesati. Capricorn moon sign will get lot of relief due to this transit, even though it's for a short period. And then Pisces ascendant would be embarking on the journey of Sadesati, right? So now let's see how the transit of Saturn is going to impact each of the ascendant. A lot depends upon where Saturn is actually sitting in your birth chart. Lot depends upon which dasha you guys are running. So lot of things depend, because those things are going to impact all the transits every time. So what I'm saying is a general trend, so it may apply to you surely if Saturn is placed well and you are running a decent dasha, right? So for Aries ascendant, so before we start, one more thing I would like to speak is the 3rd, 7th and 10th aspect of Saturn during this transit are going to fall on 3 enemy signs. So one is Aries, so the 3rd aspect would be on Aries, and Mars is the enemy of Saturn. The 7th aspect is going to be on Leo, and Sun is the bitter enemy of Saturn. And again the 10th aspect is going to be on Scorpio. Again Mars is the enemy of Saturn. So Saturn is going to impact the signs of Mars, which is Aries and Scorpio for sure, and then Leo, and all these 3 are bitter enemies of Saturn, right? So which means the 3 aspects which we discussed would be more relevant, and we'll have to work extra hard to achieve things related to those houses, right? So let us start with Aries. So for Aries ascendant, Saturn is going to transit into 11th house, and we all know 11th house is the house of gains from the profession. And what it implies is that if you have worked very hard during the last 2.5 years, that is when Saturn was in the sign of Capricorn, if you have worked very hard relentlessly and probably you might not have achieved results, then this transit of Saturn in the 11th house will give you a lot of positive results in proportion to the hard work which you have put in during the stay of Saturn in the sign of Capricorn. That is for sure, right? So Saturn will not only give you good returns, it also will increase your reputation in the society. You will have a wonderful network circle. You will also get in touch with people in very good authority, because that's what Saturn also represents, right? So it's going to be a very good transit for you. But again, I said, it is in proportion to the hard work which you have put in during the stay of Saturn in the sign of Capricorn. Now, the 3rd aspect of Saturn would be on your ascendant itself, 1st house, which implies that you may have to face some health issues, and to get out of those health issues, you will have to work very hard on your health to develop your personality, and then Saturn will actually reward you profusely. And with the 7th aspect, it's going to aspect the 5th house, which means that you'll have to engage with your children in a positive way. Have a lot of patience, try to engage with them, try to understand their needs, try to understand their thought process. And when you understand and when you engage with them, then you will be able to reap a lot of benefits from them. Then even your children will behave with you very maturely. And if you are not married, or you are into some love relationship, then the same principle will apply. You will have to walk the extra mile, as they say, to understand your partner or the person you are in relationship with, and understand the needs, behave maturely. Then only the relationship will sustain, and it will sustain for good, right? And you are going to benefit a lot from share market, but provided you will have to invest in proper companies or at the proper place, because Saturn is in picture. So Saturn expects you to be to do a lot of research before investing, right? And the 10th aspect is on the 8th house, which means, you know, you'll have some expectations from the in-laws. So in-laws will have some certain expectations from you, and you can expect that, you know, they'll be more demanding during this period, and your joint assets with your wife would improve during this period, right? And if you are involved in some sort of research, or you know, if you are involved in occult or astrology, then this is a very good time. You can invest a lot of time there and reap a lot of benefit. So next, going to the Taurus ascendant or Vrishab Lagna, Saturn is going to transit to your 10th house, and this Saturn is obviously a Yoga Karaka planet for you. It's a Rajo Karaka planet for you, right? And if Saturn is placed well in your birth chart, then this transit is going to give a lot of good opportunities. So the opportunities which Saturn gives may involve travel, may involve engaging with people in authority. You'll be working with, you know, large groups, communicating with them, talking with them. You'll have, you know, very good responsibilities, very good, you know, time, I would say, very good authority you'll also have, and you'll obviously have to put in a lot of effort to get things done, but you'll enjoy what you will be doing, right? Your reputation in the society and in your organization will improve for sure. And again, you know, as I said, it all depends upon the proportion of hard work you have put during the stay of Saturn in the sign of Capricorn, right? So it's going to be a very good one for you, because Saturn is the best planet for the Taurus ascendant, right? So it's going to do tremendous good. Now, sitting in the 10th house, Saturn will aspect the 12th house, which implies again that, you know, you might have to travel during this period, and the travel will be very beneficial for you. So you'll also have increase in expenditure during this period, and you will have inclination to get into, you know, things like meditation and other spiritual things, right? So this aspect is going to be good for you. And the 7th aspect is going to be on the 4th house. So again, you'll have to engage in a positive way with people at your home. You will have to understand their thought process, their feelings, and when you try to you know, build relationship with them, understanding their needs, then it's going to be a very good environment at your home, and the relationship will be very strong, right? And the 10th aspect will be on the 7th house. So again, the same thing, right? So you'll have to understand the needs of your spouse, or your you know, your partner, and even the business partner. Deal with them very maturely, and the relationship is going to strengthen, you know, based on the amount of effort you put, right? So new business deals surely will happen, because Saturn is sitting in the 10th house and aspecting the 7th house. Surely if you had planned for something new, then this is the time where you can implement, and you will get very good results, right? Now for Gemini ascendants, Saturn, which is the lord of your 9th house, which is known as you know, the house of fortune, or as they say, you know, the house of Bhagya, right? So Saturn is transiting into your 9th house from the 8th house, which is a good move, I would say. And Saturn is the lord of your Bhagya, as I say. So during this period, Saturn is going to shape up your future from now, and it will put you in you know, or I would say it will give right direction to your career during this point of time. So you'll be very clear what you want to do, and what you have to do. So you'll be very clear. So if you are into technical field, then this time is going to be excellent one for you, right? And Saturn is aspecting the 3rd house. So whenever Saturn aspects the 3rd house, you know, it implies that you will have to put in a lot of effort, right? In general, the 3rd house makes you put in a lot of effort, but your health would be much better, and you will have a lot of clarity. So Saturn in 8th house has given you a lot of clarity on many fronts, right? It has also brought to surface all the health issues, and you might have fixed it. Most of the issues might have been fixed, and your health might be much better right now. So Saturn is going to give you very good opportunities. And if you had again planned for something, because third house represents, some new things or new ventures. So if you had planned for something, then this is the time where you can actually start doing that, right? And Saturn is aspecting the 11th house with the third aspect. So again, which means that you will have to put in efforts, lot of efforts to build the network, but it's going to be successful. So whatever efforts you put will be successful. You will be able to get promotion only after putting efforts, and the promotion would be good one, because Jupiter is also in the 10th house. Or if you're looking for a new job, then this is the perfect time for you to look out for a new job. You will get into a very good job in a very good position, right? And Saturn is also aspecting your 6th house, so it will help you to come out of any health issues if you had. Also, if you had any court cases, then you can see that those cases are going in favor of you, right? So if we speak about the Cancer ascendants or the Karka Lagna, Saturn is going to transit into your 8th house. So the Lord of 8th house will now be in the 8th house, right? So as I said earlier, when the Lord of 8th house comes to the 8th house, and especially Saturn, the main aim would be to prolong your life. So it increases the longevity, and the way it does is it brings to surface all the issues which were hidden within your body or mind. And it might seem initially that Saturn is actually giving you a lot of issues, right? But that's not the case. Saturn is actually bringing out those issues on the surface so that you can deal with it, right? So initially it might look very tough, or it might look that Saturn is troubling us a lot, but that is not the case. So take it positively, because this is a chance which Saturn is giving to fix the things for good, and Saturn will help you to fix those issues. And if you had any problems with the ancestral property, then this is the time where you can fix those problems. And especially if you are involved in research kind of work, you are involved in some investigation, like the CBI or the CID or the FBI, then this time is going to be an excellent one for you, right? Now you will have to deal with issues related to your in-laws if you are married, for sure. The issues would be there. There will be a lot of pressure and a lot of demands from them, and you will have to deal with them. Now Saturn aspects the 10th house from here. So again, the third aspect of Saturn, what it will do is it will make you work very hard. So you will have to work hard, or you will get some projects where you will have to put in lot of effort, which might actually frustrate you. But the returns would be in proportion again to the hard work which you have put in, for sure. So keep that in mind. Put in a lot of hard work, and then you will reap the results for sure, right? Keep that in mind. And Saturn aspects the 2nd house, like I said, it will help you to resolve the ancestral property issues. It will help you to even save the money. Your joint assets with your spouse will also improve. And it also aspect the 10th house, the 5th house. So again, it implies that you will have to engage with your children in a positive way. And if you are planning to learn something new, then this is the time where actually you can plan and implement that, and then it will be very good for you. So coming to Leo ascendants, right? Saturn is transiting into a 7th house, right? So Saturn, which is the lord of 7th house, is now in the 7th house. So if you are unmarried and if you're looking for a partner, then this is the right time where you can actually get married. You will get a suitable life partner. It also depends upon how Saturn is placed in your birth chart, right? But a general prediction is that you will get a very good life partner during this period. If there were any issues in the marriage, right, this is a time where you can actually fix them, bring them to a proper conclusion. Saturn is going to do that. And if you had planned for any new business ventures or any new business, you had planned to get into any new business partnership, then this transit of Saturn will actually materialize those things. Now Saturn will aspect the ninth house, which again means that you will have to work hard to achieve things, and you will have to also travel during this period. Travel is surely on the cards, and Saturn will aspect obviously the opposite house, which is your ascendant. So again, you'll have to deal with your health a little bit, so that you look fit, and your confidence level might dip a little bit. So you'll have to work hard on that front also, right? Now Saturn also aspects your 10th house, 4th house. So which again means that you will have to engage with your family members positively, with patience, with maturity, and then you will be able to build a good relationship with your, with your people at your home, right? Now for Virgo ascendant, Saturn transits into the 6th house, and Saturn does very good in the 6th house because it is one of the Upachaya houses, and all the malefics, they are very comfortable being in Upachaya houses. So 6th house, Saturn is very comfortable there. So Saturn will surely help you to get off a lot of health issues. It will help you to discipline your life more, and make your life and health much better. And sitting there, it aspects the 8th, 12th and 3rd house. So when it aspects the 8th house, 8th house, as we know, is the house of sudden events, and Saturn is the karaka for that. So you need to be a little careful and very planned, because there may be sudden events which can be positive or negative depending on how Saturn is placed and which dasha you are running. But again, Saturn will help you if you are involved in some sort of research or learning occult and astrology. And Saturn, and this aspect of Saturn will make you put in a lot of effort to fix issues with your in-laws, for sure. You'll have to put a lot of effort, to fix those issues. And your joint assets with your partner or spouse will also start depleting, and again you'll have to put in a lot of effort to maintain that. Now Saturn aspects the 12th house, sitting in the 6th house, and 12th house we all know is the house of travel, house of losses as well. So there can be unexpected expenditure during this period, so you'll have to be careful on that front. But if at all there is a travel, you can surely go for that, because the travel would be beneficial for you. And again, Saturn aspects the 3rd house sitting there, so again, which means that you will have to put in a lot of efforts in your communication. So there is a chance that people might actually get you wrong. They might misunderstand you. So be very careful with your communication, especially with your superiors. And you'll have some issues with your spouse, so you'll have to spouse and your siblings, so you'll have to take care of that also, right? Now for Libra ascendants or Tula Lagna, Saturn is transiting into your 5th house, right? So 5th house is house of children, is house of new learning, our Purva Punya Bhava. So Saturn is the karaka of giving the past karma. So if you had done, good karma, then this transit of Saturn will reward you, profusely. And Saturn is actually a yoga karaka planet for you. This transit is going to be a very good one for you. So if you are into, cinema and acting, then this transit will get you very matured and very good roles for you, right? And if you want to learn new technologies, this is the right period for you to learn new technologies or new domain, or new things, or you want to shift in the career, then this transit will help you to do that. Now the 5-11 axis would be activated, so which implies that you can gain a good amount from the share market or speculative business. But again, you will have to be very careful, because Saturn is aspecting the 11th house as well. So if you plan very well and invest intelligently and look at long-term gains, then this transit of Saturn will actually help you to achieve that. And Saturn is also aspecting your 2nd house. So if you had issues with your ancestral properties, inheritance, with your extended family, then Saturn will give you a window to fix those things, and you'll act very maturely and try to fix all the issues, right? Now for Scorpio ascendants or Vrishik Lagna people, Saturn is transiting into your fourth house, and this transit is also a good one, I would say. So if you were planning to purchase any new house or property, then this would be the right moment, provided your Mahadasha supports, right? So that is always there. Mahadasha should be supportive. Then this transit will help you to purchase a new property, new home, or new vehicle for sure. Environment at your home would be quite happy one, but again, Saturn demands that you engage with people at your home very maturely, right? Any immature discussions would be very difficult to handle for you, so take care of that. Now Saturn from there with its third aspect is going to aspect your sixth house, so which means that you will have to be careful with your enemies, right? So if you have any enemies or any hidden enemies, then you will have to be very careful during this period, because they'll become very active, and they might plan some conspiracy to harm you, so you'll have to be very careful. Saturn also aspects the 10th house, which will give you opportunity, but which will make you very hard, which will force you to engage with people, with your superiors, and live up to their expectations. And once you do that, then Saturn will actually reward you, right? And Saturn from there is also aspecting your first house, which again means that you will have to work little bit towards developing your personality, uplifting your confidence, and you might have some health issues which can be fixed, nothing major, but you'll have to take care of them for sure. Now for Sagittarius Lagna or Dhanu Lagna, Saturn would be transiting into a third house, right? And Saturn does very good in the third house because it's one of the Upachaya houses, right? So Saturn is very comfortable here, and what it means that your courage will increase during this period, and during this period you will actually not only have courage, but you will have that maturity, so you will behave with everyone very maturely. You will exhibit your courage and dynamism with quite good maturity. So if you are into the field of writing books or publishing on the social media, writing articles, then this transit will help you to do that, because your 3-9 axis would be activated. Saturn is going to activate that, and Saturn is a lot for your third house for sure. So if you are in this field, then you have to utilize it properly. And if you had planned for something new, some new venture, or some new business, then this is the right time, because Saturn will provide you with all the resources necessary to actually start that particular business venture, right? So from there again it aspects the fifth house, which means you will have to put in a lot of effort to maintain relationship with your kids, right? So you will have to show that maturity, engage with them, try to understand their feelings, and then you will be able to do justice with that. And you will be forced to learn something new at your workplace, and that might irritate you a little bit, but if you learn that, then in long term it's going to help you a lot. So Saturn is also aspecting your 9th and 12th house. So whenever the 9th and 12th house are activated, it indicates a travel, right? So long distance travel or probably short distance travel is indicated surely, because Saturn is also in the third house, which indicates short distance travel. So Saturn will make you travel a lot during this period. So be prepared for that. Now coming to Capricorn ascendants or Makar Lagna, Saturn will get out of your ascendant and go to the second house, which is a very good thing, because sitting in the ascendant, it might have taught you a lot of lessons, made you work very hard, made you be disciplined, organized, and behave very maturely, and you might be sick of that. But once Saturn transits your second house into the house of Aquarius, then things would ease out a lot, right? And here Saturn will help you to save a lot of money for sure. right? And it also indicates that if you had any issues with your extended families, this is the time you can fix any inheritance issues. It can be fixed during this period. Saturn is aspecting the fourth house, which again means that Saturn is expecting you to engage with people at home, your spouse, your kids, your parents, to to maintain the relationship. You'll have to do that. And Saturn is aspecting the 8th and the 11th house. So 8th house is again the house of sudden events, and 11th house is the house of gains. So one way we can interpret this, that it might give you an opportunity for sudden gains, because the 8th and 11th house are getting activated. But you'll have to be careful with the 8th house, because 8th house is the house of sudden events, and Saturn is the karka for that, and Saturn is aspecting the 8th house. So be a little careful while driving. Saturn gives you a chance again to learn new things related to occult, related to astrology. And if you're into research, then this transit is going to help you a lot if you're into research, right? And coming to Aquarius, now Saturn is getting into ascendant, right? So it's going to be a good one for you. You will be more matured. Your personality will be more matured during this period, and you can expect good position at work, a very matured position at work, because Saturn not only aspects the third house, the 7th house, but also the 10th house, right? Now what it means is that you will have to put in efforts for sure to manage your communication, because there is a chance that people might misunderstand you during this period, and to avoid that, you will have to put in a lot of effort towards your communication, right? So before you speak anything, think about it. Before you write emails or any written communication, read it twice or thrice, and then only you do that. Otherwise things will unnecessarily go wrong, right? So these are the downside of it. Now the seventh aspect on the 7th house indicates that you'll have to fulfill the expectations of your partner. You'll have to engage with them, try to understand their feelings and their needs, and once you do that, then the relationship will be much better and much matured. And as I said, Saturn is aspecting the 10th house, so you are going to get good opportunities, but it requires that you put a lot of efforts into work, and also into engaging with your superiors or with your bosses, because they'll be more demanding during this period. They'll expect that you be very disciplined and organized, and once you do that, then Saturn will reward you profusely. Now finally, coming to Pisces ascendant, Saturn would be transiting into a 12th house, right? So Saturn is a lot of your 11th house and 12th house. So this indicates travel. So if your dasha promises and other planets are in place, then it surely indicates travel during this period, and the travel will be for betterment. So you might develop interest into into spirituality. You might get into meditation and chanting of mantras, reading philosophy, and that will help you a lot actually to calm yourself and become more matured to understand this material world. So it's going to be good one, but from there it again aspects with a third aspect. Saturn aspects your 2nd house, so which implies that you'll have to put in a lot of efforts with your extended family, again to have good relationship, to fix things, and again there would be some issues with the ancestral property, and if you are matured enough, you can handle it properly, right? Now your savings again will be a challenge, because Saturn in the 12th house will give you a lot of expenses, and 2nd house is the house of savings, right? So the savings will deplete. Obviously when there are spendings, the savings would deplete, and Saturn will also give you a chance to travel to foreign lands, and if you do that, then things would be much better. And Saturn also aspects your 6th house and 9th house, right? So again we see the 9th and 12th house are getting activated, right? So Saturn is in the 12th house and also aspecting the 9th house. So travel is surely indicated. long distance travel is surely indicated, and this travel will be very beneficial for you. So if you get a chance, don't miss it. Now Saturn is aspecting your 6th house, right, which indicates that you will have to work on your health issues. If at all there are any court cases, then you will have to put in a lot of effort, and after putting efforts you can see things moving quite favorably in your direction, right? So guys, this was my analysis about the transit of Saturn into the sign of Aquarius. And it is for a short time, like we discussed. So on 12th of July, Saturn would start retrograding back to the sign of Capricorn, and it would stay there till January 2023. So what happens during the retrogression? What are the expectations of Saturn? So I'll make a separate video on that. Soon I'll try to make that, because it's very interesting and we need to understand that, right? So thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back with another interesting video. Thank you so much.